Wait, how much of this song am I actually even allowed to include here? Ah, you know what? We'll just include it all.
Every now and then I get a
Little
little
bit
bit
lonely
lonely
and
and
you're
you're
never
never
coming
coming
round.
round.
Turn around. Every
Every
now
now
and
and
then
then
I
I
get a
get a
little
little
bit
bit
tired
tired
of
of
listening to
listening to
the
the
sound of
sound
my
of my
tears.
tears. Every
And
now and
then I
then I
get a
get a
little
little
bit
bit
nervous
nervous
at the
at the
best of
best
all
of
my
all my
years
years
gone
gone
by.
by.
Every
Every
now and
now and
then I
then I
get
get
a
a
little
little
bit
bit
terrified, and then I see the look in
Hey,
your
Rocco.
eyes. Yeah, you're probably wondering, how did I end up in this situation? How am I underwater in a car and also playing the Battlefield 4 campaign in 2024? And the answer is my impeccable driving skills, but also because I own Battlefield 4 and have played it since launch and adored its multiplayer and somehow never played its campaign, despite the fact that multiplayer unlocks are tied to the campaign. So I figured that I'd give it a shot. And here we are, trapped underwater, arguably, though, jamming out. And this is Battlefield 4's campaign. So, about 13 minutes prior to us crashing the car in the lake and jamming out, we are, we're just doing our average patrol walking through the street when they, our good old squad mate here just beats the shit out of some dogs just because he can. He's got no reason to do so. And then we engage in a firefight across the street. They tell me that the safe house
Safe house is so safe.
isn't safe anymore. Why are we calling it a safe house then? So, our exit plan from the unsafe house is what every American neighbor does on the 4th of July, and that's just to detonate about 20 pounds of C4 in celebration. When, my CO decides to give me the most physical contact that I've had in 4 years by grabbing my gun. And unfortunately, that's not a metaphor. He just actually grabs my gun, and then hands me a pair of binoculars that I'm gonna be honest, I think for this next encounter I do not know how to use. Alright, so after that, we make our way across the massive construction yard into this building, and of course, it's a shooter, so we shoot a lot of people. And I think in this first mission alone, my body count is higher than about 4 porn stars put together, and it only gets worse as we go on. The main character in this game probably technically qualifies as a mass murderer with just how many people you kill. And then, if that wasn't enough, you get to the top of the building, or towards the top, and it gets attacked by a fucking helicopter, which proceeds to decimate the building, leaving everybody theoretically wounded, but we actually all get up and walk away perfectly fine, for the most part. One of the squad mates is wounded, and this is just the first of many instances in which shit happens and we walk away fine. I'm coming! I'm unstable! Jesus! Help me! Dude. Bye! Ah! Oh. Oh! Were we supposed to care about fire, bro? Holy shit! From there, we miraculously just get up from the building being destroyed. We steal some random civilian's car, and now that you're in the car, you can kind of see where we go from here. We start driving along the water. I casually pull out a grenade launcher and shoot down a helicopter while leaning out of the window of the driver's seat. And then we miraculously escape. Mission 2 takes us to Shanghai, good old China, where we're just driving through the street in a van, and one of the squad mates says that we better not run anybody over, which is ironic in China, given that they have a history of running people over in China, but with things much bigger than vans. And then we proceed to actually run somebody over, but he just phases through the vehicle, so we're fine. The Chinese government wishes they were me, I guess. And then we get the van stuck and have to go it on foot. Our squad's objective here in Shanghai is to extract some VIPs or something. We're supposed to stealthily sneak up an elevator, get to the specific floor, specific room. I opt for something called loud stealth, and I'll demonstrate it here. So after several minutes of loud stealth, we make our way to the floor that has the hostages, and then the room fucking explodes. But it was all a trick anyways, and the guys that we're here to extract are actually just in the next room over because they knew to change, because loud stealth was scripted. See? I knew loud stealth was smart. Taking after one of my friends in high school, Mr. Special Agent Man decides to suggest that we steal a helicopter from the Chinese military. And so we get up there, and we steal a Chinese military helicopter. And then he leaves with the hostages, but he forgot one important thing, like my mom when she went to the grocery store, and that was me. She left me in the grocery store, and he left me on top of a Chinese building in Shanghai to fight off the entire Chinese military. Coincidentally, I also had to fight off the entire Chinese military when I was in the grocery store. From there, I spent countless hours fighting across Shanghai, through parks, through alleys, a bunch of stuff that I'm gonna cut out, and that my time probably honestly could have been spent doing more productive things, like, I don't know, my taxes that I haven't done for the last 12 years. But eventually we get pinned down by a couple tanks along the river because we need a boat evac because the fucking US military is useless and can't evac us from Shanghai. So I just kind of cheese the fucking shit out of the tank AI. And then I also die to a collapsing building a couple times because Battlefield physics. The saying is only in Battlefield, and this is very much true. So from there, we climb aboard a civilian boat, and like all the civilians are fleeing the city, and then they hit the city with an EMP. I'm assuming China EMP'd their own city. But all the boats are dead in the water, and so we decide to take on all of the refugees from the city aboard the aircraft carrier in which your Marine team in Battlefield 4 is stationed. So guess what? We get to spend the next mission aboard an aircraft carrier. Woo! I shit you not, I think I spend about 20 minutes of the recording just walking around and listening to people talk and swimming through the fucking water. It's all cut. More cut than a fucking Jewish congregation. Like, I don't know why there's so much nonsense on this mission, but we're going to investigate an aircraft fellow aircraft carrier that's been sabotaged. And I've decided to resume a little bit of this where we actually get to fucking shoot people, because oh my fucking god, why are there so many fucking people talking to me throughout this? This is insane. Just let me shoot things. It's a fucking first-person shooter, man. So from there, we start making our way towards the top deck of the aircraft carrier, where we still believe that there are enemies, which the belief is correct. However, before we even get there, we experience another just sequence of epic bullshittery that just, we shouldn't be alive. We have more luck than the fucking Master Chief from Halo, whose literal God-given superpower is luck. That is literally his gimmick, and we make him look like the most unlucky motherfucker alive. If we were in the casino at the same time as Master Chief, he would walk home empty fucking handed. He would have had to mortgage his house. He would have had to probably put the house up as collateral. He would have bet Cortana and lost Cortana, and we would have walked out, you know, $3 trillion richer, because Jesus fucking Christ, our characters are so consistently lucky, and it's just, my suspension of disbelief is gone. This is crazy. If that isn't bad enough, we proceed to jump off of the top deck of the aircraft carrier into the water, steal a Chinese boat, and drive back into our aircraft carrier that's fleeing, to then clear it of boarders. And like, just holy shit. As I said, we probably could give Master Chief a run for his fucking money already. Like, sign these guys up for the Spartans. Jesus Christ. I've cut probably 40 minutes of combat from this next mission because I just did not have anything to say about it of interest. And however, there is a sequence here that you're watching where I get stuck on a bridge, you know, between the car and the edge of the bridge. And not only is this a bullshit item, but the fucking animation bugged out so badly here with the revolver and my character's hand. And you see enemies clipping through the fucking bridge and shit. That this part of the mission is a worthy inclusion into the video, because this is just two different breeds of bullshit colliding at the same time, and it's kind of funny. What is going on? Why is it so broke? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh. I'm unstuck and I just had a stroke. My arm is bugged to high hell. After clearing our way to the airstrip, we fire a flare to summon mortar strikes to destroy their planes, and one of my squad mates complains about the Asian woman driving the car. I'm just gonna leave that implication there. I think he may be racist and sexist, just a general bigot, but maybe that's, maybe I'm reading into it too much. As we proceed to drive, and then she crashes the car, and maybe his fears weren't God damn it. Then, she betrays us. She really didn't like the comments, about her driving, I guess.
No, I want to keep pressing you.
Hey! Who are you people? What do you want from me?
We want the numbers, Mason. That's all we've ever wanted.
Keep hearing the fucking numbers!
It's a broadcast, Mason. The broadcast. Mason, for the last time, where is the number station?
The numbers? What? are they saying?
0, 0, 1, 5.
That's all we've ever wanted.
So, we awaken in some Chinese prison or something, and they keep asking me about the numbers and what they mean, and they keep calling me Mason, and I'm not sure what the fuck they're talking about. Actually, I think that might be a different game. And honestly, at this point, I wish I was playing that fucking game instead. But, they want to know why we were in Shanghai. You know what? I also want to know why we were in Shanghai, but that's, you know, neither here nor there. So then, in my prison cell, I meet a dude named Dima. He's a pretty Russian guy. He's also, one of the player characters from Battlefield 3, which I guess the Battlefield 4 writers just didn't care too much about. But despite being a Russian guy, he does his best to cosplay a British person and hands me a shiv so that we can stealth our way out of prison. Because naturally that's what you do, you know? So I think I spend about the next 30 minutes just shooting people. I have nothing remarkable to say. It's just pretty standard first-person shooter combat. Until we make it topside, where we find out that we're actually in Canada, because that's the only place in the world with snow. And we decide to take a tram out of here. And oh, by the way, the traitor Asian lady Hannah is actually not a traitor and was just playing the long game. So she's back with us. And so we're in this tram. It gets attacked by a helicopter, because of course it fucking does. And then it crashes. And then we all survive except Dima. You remember how I mentioned that he's the Battlefield 3, one of the player characters in that game? Yeah, he's dead. Which, I mean, at least somebody can't survive this bullshit. But, like, I feel like that's pretty disrespectful. Maybe I'd have more of an opinion if I could have gotten Battlefield 3 to work on PC, but it kept asking me to sign into Origin, and I used my EA login, but Origin doesn't fucking exist anymore. So what was I supposed to do about it? So instead I'm stuck playing this game, and they killed the Russian guy, I guess. Everybody else is fine. So 2 days after nearly falling to our death in the Canadian mountains, we somehow are in, oh, this looks like it could be South America. I see Arabic, so it could probably be, you know, somewhere in the Middle East. It's probably in the Middle East. I don't fucking know where we are, but I know we're fighting Russians now. We have a car, and then we drive up to a place, and then we just get snuck up on by some Marines. I don't know if we knew the Marines were here. I personally like to believe that we didn't know that the Marines were here, so that they just kind of happened to show up and help us. We then make it to probably what was the most grueling and the least fun section of this campaign for me, that involved a lot of stealth, or stealth in quotations, I guess, where you're supposed to take out like a BTR, you know, armored personnel carrier type vehicle, and then all the enemies, and then move into the next area, and there's more, and they've all got tow missile launchers, and they give you a vehicle at the end of each section, almost as if you're supposed to drive it, but then you just get absolutely donkey-dicked if you walk into any of these sections with the vehicle, and it was actually easier to clear them on foot, which is fine. It felt incredibly misleading, and the whole thing was framed as, oh hey, be quiet, don't get seen, so that you can take everything out. There was like no feasible way to fucking stealth correctly, though, because I got spotted every time I went in for a melee kill. Nobody ever really broke line of sight. I ended up C4ing the tanks. By the way, none of the guns that you can pick up from the fucking armor crates in this game have suppressors on their loadout. So stealth is a bit of a non-factor, and I ended up using the fucking Barrett 50 cal. as one of my primary weapons for like the rest of this mission because it's just really fun and easy to use. But this part was fucking miserable. I died like 5 times, and I'm playing on like normal difficulty just because I was trying to play the way that the NPCs were telling me to play, and that was, oh, be quiet, don't get seen, and it was just blow up the fucking BTR and go loud after that, and you're fucking fine. But yeah, here we are. So at the end of the last mission, we had met up with Allied forces finally, as you saw in the last clip, and we're meeting this major, and in order for us to get a ride back to our aircraft carrier, we need to do a chore for her. I'm so glad that this is how the military works. So we're gonna go blow up a dam to take out anti-air emplacements. Because why wouldn't we blow up a dam? So that's this next mission, is us infiltrating a dam to place as much fucking C4 as we can. It was such a good idea. So we fight our way in and through the dam, out onto the scaffolding, and our idea is essentially to run along the scaffolding, blow the dam from the scaffolding, and we're running along, and I think that we're just supposed to go as far as we can, and I see a spot in which we can jump. Or it looks like we can jump anyways. And I end up glitched. I land in a spot that I'm not supposed to land in, die, but it checkpointed me there. And if I moved, it would kill me again, until I realized that I can just trigger the C4 from there anyways, and end the mission. It's so fucking stupid. Because it totally looks like a spot that you're supposed to sprint jump to, and you just weren't. Whoops. Because of the weird-ass spot that I was in as well, this entire in-engine cutscene is just completely fucked and involves my character fucking bouncing around through objects for the first part of it. And on top of that, welcome to another BS segment of blowing up a dam and falling into it and surviving, because of course we do. Again, we literally get up and walk away. What are the writers fucking cooking with? Like, they got some goddamn good shit in their fucking writer's office for this game. Too bad none of that good shit is plot, because this game really could have used it. But, hey, we made it out. Now, I will admit that the actual ending to this mission is kind of fucking cool. The skyhook is one of my favorite, like, niche pieces of military, in quotations, technology. So it is kind of cool to see it get utilized. It's kind of badass. Also, as somebody who is moderately conscious and fearful of heights, that thing would fucking terrify me in real life. But it's cool. So, we return to the Valkyrie, our aircraft carrier, to rescue it and the other hostage that we rescued earlier in the game, because he's actually some secret Chinese VIP who will be instrumental in de-escalating the war and turning people off of the Chinese admiral's side, who apparently is the villain of this game, even though we hear jack shit about him otherwise. So, yeah, it is time to shoot some motherfuckers after parachuting in onto the aircraft carrier, which is kind of cool if I'm gonna be honest. So we make it inside the carrier, find our VIP, and he does the funniest thing you can possibly do in a shooter campaign, and that is talk down all of the enemies and convince them not to shoot, and subsequently not give the player anything to shoot. which I won't fault the game too much because I did just spend 30 minutes clearing the top deck of an aircraft carrier again. So, I mean, I get it, but it is kind of funny. This whole section is just comical because they walk in and he's just like, oh yeah, this guy's bandaged up. Like, dude, if my fucking dad walked in wearing a gazillion bandages, I'm not sure if I'd recognize him, let alone some guy that these motherfuckers have probably never met. Maybe the game just didn't sell me on the importance of Jinjae enough, but like, this seems highly improbable, but I just think it's kind of funny. Yeah, we talked down the enemy. Yeah.
You're not coming back?
From here, the only course of action is to, of course, take out the evil Chinese admiral. And the only way to do that is to load a rib boat with C4, apparently, and just drive it up to his carrier and detonate it that way. And so, what do we do but load up a rib boat with C4? Could we have just shot it or called in airstrikes? Maybe. But is it as cool as driving a rib boat up to it with a bunch of C4 that we just strap to the hull and then blow up? Probably not. Yeah, I guess it's cool. Sure. So after arming the charges, we grapple up to safety, prepare to remote detonate, and then of course they hit you with the biggest, fattest, stupidest fucking cliche that every fucking video game, every movie decides to.
What's your status? Over. Hannah, hit the switch.
It's the timer's fried. Need to detonate it manually. I gotta go down there. Interestingly, this game lets you pick who goes down there, and I picked Hannah because, I mean, she betrayed me earlier. She also crashed one of my cars. She also gives me the P90 to use in multiplayer if I pick her. So yeah, I picked her. Whoops. Oh well. And then that is literally the end of the game. Yep. You make that choice, campaign's over. The end.
She gave her life, Wrecker. She gave her life for every fucking thing.
There's actually a really touching, like, conversation between Irish and Hannah over the credits of the game that I sat through just in case I got hit with like some MCU, Hannah will return in Battlefield 2069 or something fucking ridiculous. And I thought it was funny because it gave more character to them than the entire fucking game did. 'Cause all in all, none of the characters in this campaign were interesting in the slightest. This campaign, if I'm going to be 110% honest, it feels like they wrote up in the writer's room the most whack-ass, like, spectacular set pieces possible. Aircraft carrier ripping in half, driving a car into the water, and shooting your way out the front window, blowing up a dam and falling into the water and surviving, heroic sacrifice to take out the villain and the player gets to choose. And all of them fall flat because this gameplay was just the most generic cover-to-cover shooter, and not even cover-to-cover in like a Gears of War sense, but cover-to-cover, and that's just what you have to do to play the game. And it fell flat. Like, the first few engagements and the first few missions, I'm like, yeah, I'm having fun because it's Battlefield 4's gunplay. But none of the missions really stood out to me in terms of things that they had me do. Part of the issue, I think, is just kind of, you unlock the guns in the campaign as you go along. As long as you're at a weapon box, you can pick whichever gun you want. And it kind of ruins the situations that they can put you in, because I think this game, you can make a fair comparison to a lot of the good Call of Duty campaigns, where they have, you know, each mission has its own unique gimmick, whether it's your starting loadout or what. But there are so many memorable missions in a game like the 2009 Modern Warfare 2, you know, Modern Warfare, you know, All Gillied Up, for instance. There's nothing like that in this game, and I feel like it's a real missed opportunity because Battlefield excels in a lot of things with its sandbox. Battlefield 4 especially, I love the gunplay and everything. It's got its destruction mechanics that you could lean into, that the campaign doesn't really feel like it encourages. They're present, but nothing wild. And all in all, as somebody who would literally glaze this game and dick ride it and call it probably one of the best FPS shooters that I've ever played, and that I don't regret sinking a single second into its multiplayer that I have, you know, the hundreds of hours across Xbox and PC. I'm really disappointed in its campaign. This was mediocre at best, and I've played plenty of shooter campaigns that have been a whole lot better. I've played a whole lot that are worse. So I give this campaign like a 5 out of 10. That was my experience. However, playing Battlefield 4 in 2024, or Battlefield 4's campaign, I should say, it was nothing special. I can't say that I 100% feel like I wasted my time. I'm not coming away with any memorable moments. Besides the opening, I guess. I feel like the opening, with Total Eclipse of the Heart playing in the background is kind of iconic, and you know, it's got some charm. I just feel like the rest of the game really loses that memorable nature, and unfortunately it was not some colossal banger, life-changing experience. But if you like shooting, guys, maybe you'd enjoy it. If you can get into a server without, you know, its stats padded by fucking bots that aren't actually in the game, Battlefield 4 is worth picking up for its multiplayer alone. It's just not the most popular right now. But at the end of the day, I don't regret making this video. I don't regret taking the time to record it. I mean, this was only like 4 or 5 hours of my life that I spent playing the game. It wasn't that bad. I will say, though, that I do believe that this concludes my thoughts, my feelings, and my experience Battlefield 4's campaign in 2024. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, anything that you want, really. I don't care, just comment something, literally the word something if you want, and check back whenever I actually decide to upload a video again. Thank you, and thanks for coming out. I hope that you enjoyed your stay.